Hey guys, welcome back to Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered. Today we are digging into the quiet Kardashian slash Sussex photo drama that somehow turned into a full-blown explosion of Hollywood headlines. Why were photos of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle pulled after Kris Jenner's birthday party? And why did it spark so much speculation? And why are we still talking about it months later? Thank you, Kim Kardashian. My guest today, Perez Hilton, someone with real history covering the Kardashians and a neutral take on Meghan Markle, which I think is unique here, right? No fandom, no axe to grind, just perspective. I think it's important that you say, I don't really have an opinion about Meghan Markle, because one of the statements you made to me probably 4 years ago now was we were talking about predictions for Harry and Meghan's new life here. And you were like, boring,
I
boring.
still believe that.
Yeah.
That's not an insult, though.
Not at all. It's
Yeah.
it's like that. You've had so. First of all, we're going to talk about the Kardashians. We're going to talk about it all. But you've spent decades observing the rise and fall of celebrity, the way that the term celebrity, the description has evolved, and now it's Angelina Jolie versus TikTok stars, and I think it's important that you note that what makes somebody special is maybe whether or not they're boring. And that
Well,
is
and
incredibly
the
important.
the palpable comparison, I think I've said this before to you, or I've definitely said it other times. When the masses think of Miley Cyrus, 99 out of 100 people think she's not boring.
Yeah.
Meghan and Harry combined are not even half as interesting and not boring as Miley Cyrus. But I want my royals to be boring.
Mm.
Royals and former royals, or even, like non-working senior royals that are still in the UK and occasionally do, royal engagements. None of them should be interesting. They should be boring. And I think we can all agree on this, whether you're supportive or critical of the Sussexes. Almost every single thing they do is calculated. So the perception that they're boring is probably who they really are, but also they could do things to make themselves not boring, and they're trying not to do those things.
Mm. Oh, wow. So you do think that, oh, well, let's just get into the Kardashian thing,
Sure.
because I want to meet you exactly where you landed right there. So Kim Kardashian is setting the record straight on why
Allegedly setting the record
allegedly
straight.
on why photos of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle disappeared from social media after Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. So she was on Chloe and Wonderland's podcast, and she called the situation really innocent, saying the images were posted with approval, but removed once it was realized that they overlapped with Remembrance Day in the UK. At the Sussex's request, she stresses, and out of respect for the occasion, the photos were taken down. And Kim said, look, there was no drama. It was unfortunate the way that it all unfolded. And she said that her mother had a really sweet relationship with Meghan Markle. And she said that, the backlash was driven more by speculation than reality. You've worked with the Kardashians
Mhm.
for decades
Yes,
now.
I have so many thoughts.
Yeah,
Let's
I
get
know.
into it all.
Go ahead. Yeah.
First, this is more than just a Kardashian party. Kris Jenner's 70th was truly an A-list affair. It was at the home of Jeff Bezos, billionaire. It was attended by the likes of Adele and Beyonce. Beyonce was at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party, happily posed for pictures, and then did not demand that her photos be taken down.
Mm-hmm.
So Meghan and Harry are being more diva than Beyonce. That is quite the accomplishment. And there's a few things happening simultaneously. First, I don't know if anybody else caught it, but sometimes if people are being politically correct or just, trying to smooth things over, even in how they talk about things, the truth can slip up and be revealed. For example, I found it very telling that Kim shared, "Oh, my mom and Meghan have a relationship." If Kim herself had a friendship with Meghan Markle, she would have said, "We have a friendship with Meghan. We've known her for years." But no, she distanced herself from Meghan Markle and strategically said, "It was my mother's friendship, it's my mother's relationship." And some, maybe even me, might argue that and also just talking about it in a way is throwing Meghan and Harry under the bus. Because if they had their preference, I'm pretty sure that Meghan and Harry would prefer that Kim didn't talk about it at all, even to set the record straight. Like
Yeah.
they would have just preferred she said nothing because now it's just reminding everybody of this drama that we've already moved on from many months ago, and they're bringing it back up. And either Kim played dumb or didn't really know, but us royal watchers know a few things. Harry is not like Meghan, is not new to royalty. He was the grandchild of the monarch for 30 plus years before she died. He was in the British Armed Forces himself. He is a veteran. He knows when Remembrance Day is.
And he's
He
wearing a
also,
poppy. He's wearing
yes, yes. He also was wearing the poppy, a poppy where, everybody in the Commonwealth, not just in the UK, but in Canada and in Australia, on Remembrance Day, the poppy is the symbol for Remembrance Day. And you wear a pin, or some people wear like an actual flower. And he was wearing a poppy. And he knew. He knew. And it's just like they were at another event, like Chloe mentioned on her podcast. That was a charity event, though. So the optics are different, but who cares? He's not even a working senior royal anymore. Like,
Mhm.
why make a big stink about it? It almost not even almost, it absolutely reminds me of the Streisand effect.
Yeah.
That phenomenon of like when you bring attention to something instead of, letting it just get its own, moderate to mild to not that much attention by complaining about it, you get more eyes and it just becomes a bigger deal. And that's what happened.
That's so genius. Yeah, I felt like the way that Kim told the story with the smile on her face, like, no, everything's fine. It to me, it did feel like a little bit of a strategy to put the Sussexes in their place, and maybe I'm overreaching,
Mm.
but the Sussexes specifically, their team, I should say. Now they lost this specific publicist shortly after this ordeal, Meredith Maines, but somebody from the Sussexes camp called People Magazine, Us Weekly Magazine, their preferred outlets that they work with religiously, and said, "We did not check the box to give them permission to share our photos. They did not have our explicit permission to share our photos." And the
Oh,
Kardashians came back immediately and said, "Well, that's not true." And actually, I believed the Sussexes for a second because I did a show with the Kardashians. You've worked in reality TV. When you go into an event where there are cameras, there's usually a sign that says, "Once you pass this point, we have permission to show you."
but there were no cameras there. It wasn't being filmed. It was
Yeah.
photographed, but not filmed.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't think Kim would lie about something like this. And like I said, I definitely got the sense that she was throwing them under the bus. So now even just revealing that nugget, even if the other reason for taking it down is not correct. What some of my, which I'm sure you've heard, what some of my other fellow royal watchers have been saying and speculating is the real reason that the photos were taken down is, as we might recall, after those pictures came out, people were speculating that Meghan was pregnant.
Ooh.
And um,
Which, by the way, are you seeing all of the psychic predictions saying that she will have a third baby?
I don't believe in psychics.
Oh, do you not?
No.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
wow.
I'm not into astrology either. I'm not into any of that.
Oh.
Um, I don't know if she was or wasn't pregnant, but maybe she was pregnant or
Mm.
just bloated, gained some weight. And I think vanity and ego, or that she really was pregnant, might still be pregnant, was pregnant and lost the baby, a combination of different things. And those are probably the real reasons, I'm guessing, but this is obviously just speculation.
It's so strange because I've seen that argument that she compared to the other women at the event, those women, their outfits were banging, and Megan's like wearing black, and it's just not, she doesn't look as glamorous as some of the other women. And you're right, maybe it was about the body. I don't know. But Remembrance Day, it's like the perfect excuse and the worst excuse because, to your point, Harry should know better. If you don't want your picture taken and have it published, first of all, Beyonce snuck in without being papped, in and out
Yeah.
without being papped. So Harry and Meghan technically could have been snuck in and out without being papped. But if you don't want your photo taken around
Don't
the
take a
red carpet,
picture.
go home, stay
No,
home.
or just don't take the picture, period. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're not doing any pictures tonight. And Kim and Chris would have gotten it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, no pictures. There were no cameras. It wasn't being filmed for Hulu, their show on that, but they agreed to take pictures. It's just it's all so silly. It's all so silly.
I do believe that Chris has been trying to help Meghan with her lifestyle brand in the background. Meghan showing up to the Balenciaga show at Paris Fashion Week, and the designer saying she invited herself. She messaged me and said, "Can I come?" There was another. Oh, Emma Grande, Meghan Markle sitting down for Emma Grande's podcast. Emma works with Skims. It does feel like maybe Chris is doing some stuff behind the scenes to help Meghan. Do you ever get that sense that Chris would have any sort of involvement in Meghan's lifestyle brand or Meghan's professional pursuits?
Not at all.
Really? Because
No.
it's so bad? Because everything Meghan does is just not executed properly?
No, I just think that Megan, not so much Harry, but but to an extent, he goes along. She's a star effer. She's a social climber. She wants to be friends with all of these celebrities, and the more you accumulate, it's actually the Chris Jenner model. I actually remember Chris Jenner's appearance on Chloe's podcast. Well, there's been numerous ones, but one of the things that really stood out for me was when Chloe was talking to her mother about her Rolodex, like her contacts and the list of contacts, and that Chris Jenner's does a really good job of maintaining friendships, maintaining relationships, nurturing contacts. And I think, Megan, it's all about who you know in every aspect. So, the she's not friends with all of the other moms whose kids go to their children's school in Montecito.
No.
She's friends with the connected and well-off moms and celebrity moms and Katy Perry and the Oprah and the celebrity neighbors and um, you know I could be wrong, but that's just my hunch.
And do you think that we will get any reaction from the Sussexes on the Kim Kardashian podcast, or will they lay low because they realize that Kim is basically calling them liars?
They're gonna lay low because thankfully the Beckhams have taken a lot of smoke off of Meghan and Harry, and it's all about Nicola and Brooklyn these days,
Does
aka
it
Harry and
surprise?
Meghan
Yeah,
2.0.
does it surprise you that those two couples spend time together in Montecito?
Well, there were initial reports that it was like a small to do, but then we learned later that it was more of like a larger outing, not so personal and intimate. But it wouldn't surprise me if Harry and Meghan gave Brooklyn and Nicola advice, bad advice.
Yeah. Well, I am wearing Victoria Beckham's eyeliner today in solidarity.
Oh,
And whose side are you on there?
I'm on the side of all of them.
Oh, what a mature
Yeah,
statement.
no, because I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I do
Yeah.
believe that there is some truth to what Brooklyn said, but here's the bigger issue. Feelings aren't always factual,
Harry and Meghan.
but feelings are valid. As the late Queen, quite infamously said, recollections may vary, but feelings are valid. And if Brooklyn feels like his family, put the Beckham brand over him, he's been carrying this chip on his shoulder for decades then. And if I mean, but that's a feeling. Then there are some actual allegations. Like I'm feeling this, and I also allege A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There were a lot of allegations. So I think I think the truth is somewhere in the middle. I think as we've seen with Harry and Meghan, reconciliation won't be quick, but it'll happen eventually. We saw in 2025 Harry saying he wants to spend more time in the UK, having that meeting with his father. And I feel like he might have a meeting with William this year. And he'll be spending more time in the UK. Like the honeymoon phase of his marriage and his relationship with his wife is over. And the reality of I'm in a whole other country, so far away from all of my lifelong friends and my family, and I want my children to have a connection to their family. And hello, I'm calling them prince and princess.
Yeah.
Like, I do think I don't dislike Harry and Meghan, but I can also call them hypocrites because
Yeah.
they are so in so many ways.
No, I think that's holding them accountable. I don't think that that's
Yeah,
necessarily being, cynical or critical.
yeah.
Just as an observer in the rise of the celebrity influencer Goop, Katy Perry turning her brand into cute shoes,
Mhm.
Rihanna panties. Are you surprised at all by Meghan's inability to make as ever a powerhouse brand? Just, I mean, logistically, candles showing up without wicks, people getting emails saying that they don't have the product that they ordered. Does that surprise you that Netflix at least wouldn't have like the muscle behind something like this?
It's almost even hard for me to comment because unlike her show, which did not get renewed, it was originally just supposed to be, one order and they split it into two seasons. And ultimately, we can find out consumption of Netflix shows. It's easier for her to keep the profitability and the volume of sales hidden for her company. It's not like a movie where we know the box office that same week. So I some mistakes happen with any business. That's just part of doing business. And obviously, if you did have a mistake, you'll share it on social media because you know it'll get attention. I
Right.
don't know the amount of people that had issues with their orders and their products. So I think it's still early stages and it's too early to tell if as ever is gonna be around for the long haul and how successful it is currently.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the show. Last week we had Naomi Osaka have to apologize for her behavior on the court. She appeared on Meghan's show. She's been accused of unsportsmanlike conduct. We had Tan France live on CBS with Gayle King. Gail's announcing one of their co-stars is not going to be appearing live with them because of bullying allegations. Chrissy Teigen, I know you love Courtney Stodden. Chrissy Teigen appeared on Meghan's show. It seemed like the casting was the worst possible scenario ever when Meghan has been trying to dismiss bullying allegations. You've got a show littered with people accused of bullying allegations. I mean, Tan France is accused of getting somebody fired from Queer Eye to get one of his besties hired. Uh, do you have any opinion on that? You've done a lot of TV, you've watched a lot of TV. Was that a casting mistake if the ultimate objective is to reframe her as Betty Crocker?
No, I think the only mistake was not having more Harry in it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they might say one thing or they might want you to think one thing, but even the fact that she's hanging out with Kris Jenner, even the fact that Meghan went to the birthday party. If I know I've said this to you, I've said it to you. You can pull up the receipts. I said Meghan and Harry are trying to model their post-royal career after Barack and Michelle Obama and do many of the same things that Barack and Michelle Obama have done, but they're actually Kardashians. I've said that. They're Kardashians. And you might think, oh, she's trying to rehabilitate her image. Not even. You I can give props where props are due. I would never say that Meghan Markle is dumb. She's ambitious, and I think an ambitious woman or man should be celebrated. I love ambition. I love smarts. I love cunning. Like I don't like cruel. So I get that. Some people think she is cruel, but she's smart enough to know what I know. When you're a Kardashian, which is what she and Harry are, all press is good press. You just got to keep people talking about you. Your currency is attention and keeping the public's attention on you. And I think I've also told you that they're working against the clock.
Yeah.
I've said this, and this is the fact. When the Windsor children are college age and above, it's game over for Harry and
Do
Meghan
you
because
remember all of the posters of Prince William in Bop magazine,
yes,
16
it
magazine?
will it will all be about the Windsor children and oh they're so dreamy and is she an equestrian or is she gonna model and oh who are they dating and oh they're stumbling out from the club. The world will move on from Harry and Meghan, and if they're interested in Archie and Lilibet remains to be seen. Um, they might be interested in Archie and Lilibet, but they'll definitely be more interested in George, Charlotte, and Louis, without a doubt.
Oh, Louis, I think we've got a lot to look
And
forward
it's
to with
crazy that
this.
it's only like a decade, it's less than a decade away. Like George is no, uh 12, 12, 13, 12, 12. I think he's
Yeah.
12. So it's
He's
like in 6 years, he's gonna be 18. And 18 is the legal drinking age in the UK, I think.
terrifying. Life is busy. Mornings start fast. Coffee is essential, and routines need to work, not complicate things. People want products that support how they live now because real beauty is about supporting what keeps you strong, radiant, and feeling your best. That's where Native Path Collagen comes in. This is not a trendy, overhyped beauty product. This is the real deal. It contains type 1 and type 3 collagen, which makes up roughly 90% of the collagen found in the human body. These are the building blocks that support skin, hair, and joint health. Native Path helps support those systems. One single ingredient, no fillers, no nonsense, just high quality collagen. Each morning, one scoop can be mixed into coffee or a favorite beverage. It dissolves easily, has no taste, and fits seamlessly into an everyday routine. Many people report stronger hair, smoother and more hydrated skin, and less joint stiffness, especially in the mornings. Try it yourself. Visit getnativepath.com/unfiltered to take advantage of a special offer today. That's getnativepath.com/unfiltered for a special bundle deal at a fraction of the retail price, backed by a risk-free 365-day guarantee. If you want to look good, feel good, and actually support your body instead of just hoping your moisturizer is magic, Native Path is where you start. Getnativepath.com/unfiltered. When it comes to the Kardashians and Harry and Meghan, do you feel like they jeopardized their relationship with them by telling People magazine that they did not sign off on those photos? And might that be
No,
why Meredith Maines is gone?
no. Kim doesn't give an F.
Okay.
Kim is just like Megan, she'll continue to like invite them and so will Chris. It's a game. It's show business.
Yeah.
And it's like at the end of the day, they might be quote unquote friends, but they're all using each other. It's shallow. It's not real friendships.
Based on what you've seen over the last 2 years, do you have any predictions for Meghan in 2026?
predictions for Meghan in 2026. In addition to, you know, as ever, there will be yet another business opportunity, some other different thing. You know, it's all about money. It's like what's crazy is, you know, Diana had her own money, and I'm sure that she left Harry a lot of money.
Mhm.
So they don't
It's, you know what,
need,
though? So I don't think we talk about enough. Diana left a ton of money
yeah.
to her godchildren, and her mom and sisters came in and took that away. And I think actually made sure that it was William and Harry's money. But
Mm,
Diana was so generous that she
yeah.
left a ton to her godchildren too. So I think that she, I think he probably hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Philip
And the
passed
point
away.
the
I'm
point is, you know, Harry and Meghan don't have to be as public as they are to keep bankrolling their fancy Montecito lifestyle with chefs and nannies and security detail, like a full team and all of this. They're doing it because they're Kardashians and they know it and they love it. Even though they might pretend that they hate the attention, they love it. That's why they play the game. I don't understand this. If Harry truly, truly hated the media, he would just totally stop engaging. He would just be
Mm.
like, let them run with all the false narratives. I don't care. I'm going to insulate my life totally and live in this little bubble. But no. So, like,
That's the same with Brooklyn and Nicola.
yes. Oh, they
Just like
played the game
ignore,
as well.
ignore.
So much of what Brooklyn alleged in that explosive revelation against his parents, we had already heard. Why had we heard all of it before? Because they had planted it in the media.
Yes.
But you know, they love the attention, all four of them. And also, it's not rational, but sometimes when you when you money just you always want to be making more money. Rich people just like you can never have enough. So last year, the year before, Megan was trying to also do some things in fashion. I predict we'll get even more from her in the fashion world this year. She's going to lean more into fashion in 2026
Mm,
in more ways than just you know, shopping links
yeah.
in her posts. It'll be a fashion line. But, you know, like she's going to miscalculate because here's the thing, right? Meghan Markle needs to acknowledge that she's a Kardashian and she is not, her audience are the masses. Her audience are not the one percenters, I don't
$30
think.
honey, jars of honey type of.
I mean, well, on the flip side, some of the Skims is not cheap.
Mm.
But it's also not luxury. Okay. So if Megan makes the mistake of trying to be, you know, Ashley and Mary Kate Olsen after their rebrand and giving the row, I think that won't be very successful. She needs to go, you know, mid market, like not luxury, but not budget either. And in her branding, I don't think that that's like even when she did last year that partnership with Soho House, like that was a mistake in my opinion. Soho House is known for being elitist, exclusive. That's what you want your brand aligned with, an elitist, exclusive organization, a
I think
private members only club.
I think the floor that her product is on in Godmothers and Montecito is like the floor where you have to pay the $200 membership to access too.
God, how
Like,
gross.
you mentioned Harry's hatred for the media. I know you've been covering him in London, going after the Daily Mail. I had a question kind of associated with what's going on or what has been going on with you, because I feel like you've been unfairly targeted through the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively case. They went after you. You had,
Blake Lively did, not Justin
yeah,
Baldoni.
just God bless Justin Baldoni. Poor Justin Baldoni. But Blake Lively went after you. did you feel like the ultimate objective there was to shut you up and to scare you throughout that process? And how are you doing after that? What did you learn through that process? And how did it change, or did it change the way that you create content and are a journalist?
Great questions. What I learned was I can, I think my biggest takeaway is that awful experience was really a blessing because a lot of times, unfortunately, litigation is just a tactic. Litigation is basically a threat. 9 out of 10 times people suing you, they're just trying to shake you down for money. And thanks to ChatGPT, I was able to defend myself against Blake Lively, who subpoenaed me and wanted my protected information, wanted my sources unmasked. I was, able to handle myself for almost the entire ride, only up until the very end, after I had two court sessions with her team of lawyers versus little old me, pro se, by myself. Only after that second hearing in front of the judge did I feel like I think I'm finally above my pay grade and it's over my head and I need help. But up until then, for 3.5 months, I was handling it all solo. And I think that I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to everybody, but I have insurance. My insurance covers lawsuits. My insurance did not cover and does not cover fighting a subpoena. And I know that if I was just to have paid for a lawyer, it would have ended up, you know, she she probably would have still been going after me.
Yes.
Still. The day that the ACLU of Nevada reached out to her lawyers saying, we are now representing Perez Hilton, immediately they said, okay, we're going to drop the subpoena
Oh my.
because they were aware of the optics of Blake Lively taking on the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, this nonprofit meant to protect the Constitution and freedom of speech and to protect victims. I was a victim. I was yet another victim of hers. Um, but a lot of it was also just a reminder of the different legal systems in this country for those that have a lot of money and those that don't. And that's one of the reasons why this saga has been so compelling, is because what usually happen, the norms are thrown out of the window here because both sides, Baldoni with the billionaire co-founder of his production company, Steve Sarowitz, and Lively, who's using all of her husband's money because
Yeah.
she's not worth the hundreds of millions that he is. You have two sides with unlimited financial resources who are just going to town, and the lawyers are happier than a pig as they say.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was such a frightening thing to witness because you are an established journalist. You've
And
been
she
in a
was trying to argue that I'm not. Yeah.
That's insane. And if you're just a newer creator, or you're just maybe you're in
Although,
entry.
actually, I'll give you some advice and everybody else. She went after other journalists as well. And this one journalist named Andy Signor actually lost in Florida. It sucked. But the judge, who clearly, I could say a lot of things, but I don't just rely on other platforms. So I have my own website, perezhilton.com, where
Mhm.
I will post news articles and break exclusives on perezhilton.com. So I'm not just a YouTuber or a TikToker or whatever. So I would say to you and to anybody else, have your own website as well. And in the eyes of the law, that will only help validify what you already are, a journalist.
Let me tell you, my favorite Perez Hilton post is me with my Edward Cullen cutout, brushing my teeth with "I love Perez" written across our heads. I'm
Thank you.
so
Oh my
proud of
God,
that.
Twilight.
Yes,
It's so
yes.
crazy. This is my 22nd year of Perez, and just bringing it up, I've done so many cool things. I'm so grateful to still be here 22 years later. And actually, with regards to Twilight, One of my favorite things that I ever did in my career was there was her, I even remember her name. God bless her. Nutty Madam. Were you a big Twihard? Do you remember Nutty
Yes.
Madam?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh my God. You remember Nutty Madam? I love
Yes.
it. Nutty Madam was like the biggest twihard ever. And she would make all these videos like reacting to the trailer and this, and she would be like crying and sobbing. And I flew her out to Los Angeles and I had her cover one of the premieres for my website. And
So
she
sweet.
was, and they obviously all knew her. And she was so happy. And I love that I was able to do that for her.
That is the cutest story. I'm so jealous. But yeah, I mean, your hair actually is my very favorite Perez Hilton pink. Remember, like
Oh.
the beauty you made pink happen
Oh.
before Margot Robbie. Okay.
I wrote a book called The Boy with Pink Hair.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I was curious to know before I let you go, you've seen some new discovery information. A, I know you love Taylor Swift. Has your opinion of Taylor changed? And B, does it absolutely blow your mind that a judge would throw out Baldoni's case, for defamation now that you've witnessed a clear campaign between Blake and Ryan through these messages to A-list talent that could and will negatively affect Justin Baldoni's livelihood in the future? Is Matt Damon going to work with this guy ever? No. Ben Affleck? Absolutely not. I just feel like that was a little premature for the judge to throw that out, and I feel real sympathy for Baldoni based on the new discovery we've seen.
So, to answer your questions, yes and yes. Let me get into both.
Yeah.
And here's why, just to pat myself on the back for a moment, I love myself. I love myself because
I love me some me.
I'm always gonna just, I don't know, part of me thinks is like, maybe you should stop being so real. Like, give the people what they want more, but I don't want that. So, with regards to Taylor Swift, I feel like everybody's unhappy with me and how I've processed that
Mm,
because I'm kind of in the middle yet again. So, everybody's critical of every way that I've processed it. I actually don't have any issue whatsoever with the texts between Taylor and Blake Lively. It shows Taylor being a supportive friend. It shows Taylor being busy on her world tour and just believing her friend. She was believing what the lies that were being fed to her.
yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
at that time, she had no reason to doubt her.
Agree. Agree.
The big reason why I answered yes to your question is I'm disappointed with Taylor Swift and her lying to the public. The statement, the on the record statement that her publicist released that she had no involvement is a bold faced lie. You cannot deny. She had multiple involvements. She advocated in person for Blake Lively's rewrite or rewrites of the script, using her power and influence as one of the biggest superstars on the planet to try and get favor and create change and do something tangible in the creative input of the film and in the future of the film for her friend. That is having direct input. She also was asked by Blake Lively to look at the trailer and give feedback on the trailer. And that's just what was written.
Yeah.
We know they also had conversations by phone and in person, and more probably went down by phone and in person also. Had Taylor's publicist just said, Taylor was just being a supportive friend. Had she worded that statement differently, I would not have had issue with it. But the fact that, and also on my life, I know how these things work. A statement as meaningful and powerful, important as the one that Taylor's publicist, Tree Payne, put out saying Taylor had no involvement, there is no chance in hell. There, 0% likelihood that Tree Payne released that statement without Taylor seeing it and approving it.
Hmm.
And maybe Tree was just taking marching orders. Taylor's like, put this statement out. I don't think necessarily that it was her publicist intentionally lying to the public. I think it was Taylor intentionally lying to the public. And that's disappointing. I'm disappointed in Taylor, but I'm also me and crazy. And I love Taylor Swift. I
No.
love her like family. I view her like family. And I also don't hold celebrities to this unrealistically high expectation of being perfect or morally correct all the time. She's a human. People make mistakes. And this is a big one that she made. But I'm still going to continue to like Taylor. I'm going to continue to like her music if she releases good music. And I'm going to continue to want to see her in concert.
Where do you think they currently stand? Because
Oh,
my,
zero contact,
oh,
zero.
really?
Their
You
their
think so?
friendship done. Their
See,
friendship is over.
don't you think if people
No,
understood that,
done.
if they understood that she had truly distanced herself from Blake
She
because
has.
of this bad behavior, they might be a little bit more forgiving towards Taylor?
Yeah, I think a lot of people believe that they're still friends, and I don't think so. I don't
Is her
think
song
so.
canceled about Blake? Do you believe that?
No, I think it's actually about Brittany Mahomes and people
Ah,
disliking Brittany Mahomes.
cute. Okay, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that version way better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then to answer your second question about Baldoni, I would say that given all that we've seen and all that I've learned about the legal system, I was not surprised. I was saddened, but I was not surprised that the judge tossed Baldoni's lawsuit in the garbage because the judge never, and this is a very important reminder, or if you're not familiar with it or you forgot, distinction, clarification. The judge never even considered the merits of what Baldoni was alleging. The judge just said procedurally, the way that Blake Lively has done everything is legally protected because it was all caged in that California Civil Rights Department complaint, and that is protected. Any allegation that she made, anything that she said or did there was safe, and vice versa. Brian Reynolds was just, oh, he believed his wife and the allegations that she made in that complaint and all that. But we all who even cares at this point about a trial and a judge? The judge of public perception, the jury of the masses have decided already and have seen everything. We have seen Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively smearing. Talk about a smear campaign. The real smear campaign was the one that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were waging against Justin Baldoni and against the Baha'i faith. That
Yeah.
cult, this cult, like
Yeah.
gross. Like
Yeah.
everything I know about the Baha'i faith, they're a beautiful, lovely, wonderful community.
Right.
It's definitely not Scientology. It is absolutely not a cult. And the receipts are there. But also, most people aren't going to go read all the receipts. It's overwhelming. The volumes of just emails and texts and information, the masses just know a little bit. Like, even for me, like when the great unsealing happened last week, I had a panic attack. Just straight up. This is too much. Oh my God. I can't have, I had a full-blown panic attack.
Oh no.
I still think I haven't fully healed from last year and all of the legal shenanigans that she put me through. I have PTSD even talking about it and thinking about it. It's like it puts me back in that place. Like I was like walking on thin ice for 3.5 months, it felt like and you get caught up in it. It's like all consuming, and like even in the shower, it's all you can think about. And
Oh.
it was intense, but it's a new
And it was like
year.
it was harassment of you. They
It
were
was, I
trying to
believe
do that.
so.
I
Absolutely.
I believe so too.
Especially because she knew. She knew I am a journalist. She may not
Yes.
like the kind of journalist that I am, but I am a journalist. And what I did was protected. And she also knew what she was asking of me, she could get from the Wayfarer defendants. And she got. My
Yeah.
private communications are now out there. They're part of the public record. And like I was saying all along, if you read my text between Melissa Nathan and me, they only help Justin Baldoni.
Right. They're not attacking her.
Yeah, I was asking for clarification. I was reaching out for comment. Hey, I saw this. Is this true? And also, there is zero communication that I had with anyone on the Baldoni Wayfarer side before January of 2025. Blake
Mm,
Lively alleged in her lawsuit that she filed in December of 2024 that the smear campaign began in August of 2024. And I didn't speak to anybody until
yeah.
January of 2025. I
Yeah.
was clearly not part of the smear campaign. I got to where I was organically, and she does not want to accept that.
Yeah.
I think what this lawsuit all boils down to is really not SH, it's really just ego. It's
I
all about
agree.
ego and public perception. And I learned so much about the law. 0% that Blake Lively is going to get a liable verdict against Justin Baldoni for SH because she's going to have to prove severe and pervasive.
Ooh.
She might she might be able to argue not even. There's like a handful of incidents. It's not what I would consider pervasive and a jury, I would think. And it's definitely not what a jury would consider severe. So much so that in his response and his motion for summary judgment, Justin Baldoni said, yep, that happened. And that happened. And this happened too. And even though all of these things happened, it still does not amount to the legal definition of sexual harassment.
Right. If you're leaving me these voicemails talking about how you're concerned about the shape of your body, you need to push back the shooting because you're not confident in your body, then maybe I'm just telling you you look sexy. Because,
And no, she herself using the sexy terminology repeatedly, her
yeah.
sexy boots and sexy this and sexy, like, it's like, was there some issues with, lost in translation or just, I also think that there was an element of Justin Baldoni being so much a girl's guy
Mm,
that he was trying to be one of the girls
yeah.
and speaking like the girls would speak to each other. And the girl, Blake Lively, did not like that.
Right, right. Yeah. It wasn't her idea, so she hated it. I have to tell you about a total game changer, Peak's Liver Detox Protocol. You may not know it, but your liver handles a lot: energy, hormones, digestion, and even your mood. But with all the stress and toxins from everyday life, it needs some love. Forget harsh cleanses. Peak delivers gentle daily support inspired by traditional Chinese medicine. Their routine uses two simple blends. The first is a warming turmeric mix with cinnamon and black pepper designed to help the body absorb it better and support the liver while calming inflammation. The second is a ginger and cinnamon blend that helps with blood flow, digestion, bloating, and immune support. The magic is how they work together to activate and flush for better digestion, stable energy, less brain fog, and that light, clear feeling. My energy is consistent now, skin is clearer, and less bloating. That's Peak, where spirit meets science. Redefine your standard of health. Secure 20% off your order and begin your intentional wellness journey today at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. Last question. Do you think that I know Ryan Reynolds is a powerhouse because he makes money, but
Yeah.
will that save Blake? Will that save Blake's
Yes.
professional career? Oh,
Yes,
you think
absolutely.
people will still hire her despite the fact
They
that she's
have. They have. Lionsgate announced a new movie coming out with her.
oh
I'm
my God.
sure that, I don't remember the exact number, but let's say her contract for It Ends With Us was 300 pages. I'm sure her contract with Lionsgate for this new romantic comedy where she's going to have to really work very hard to be likable. That contract was probably 900 pages.
Yeah.
And whomever works with her, she's not going to be hired to be headlining a very expensive movie. It will all be strategic 30 million, they're expensive. A $30 million movie is not a cheap movie to make, but she'll get hired to be the lead actress in $30 million movies, not $100 million movies. It's just a different level of risk and expectations. And a $30 million movie can easily make its money back worldwide with her level of fame. A $100 million movie and with the marketing costs and everything else, that might be a harder proposition. But yeah, so long as, and I've said this always, I'm Mr. Consistent. So long as she stays married to Ryan Reynolds, she'll be fine. And he's fine too. He's going to
Yeah.
be starring in the Avengers movies.
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Those are surefire hits. Those are not going to flop.
No. And his audience just cares about fart jokes and action. They don't care about this drama. They're not, that they're above the fray. Um,
Yeah.
if you are watching and you love Perez Hilton, I insist that you subscribe to him on YouTube. Follow
Thank
him on
you.
all the
And
socials.
I have a podcast too, if you like audio with my co-host. I'm on YouTube by myself at Perez Hilton, and my podcast with my co-host is the Perez Hilton podcast with Chris Booker. You can listen wherever you stream your favorite shows or directly at perezpodcast.com.
Also, can I just say that following you on Instagram is one of my favorite things because you leave so many naughty comments, and I'm always just I'll see a naughty comment you like.
They're
I
not
completely.
naughty. It's like
Well, no,
somebody was
you're
like,
just very
no,
sassy, and I love it.
not even. I'm just like, somebody was like, I know what you're talking about. Like, somebody's like, you take too long to get to the point. I'm like, don't watch. Simple as that. If you don't like it, don't watch. Like, I'm not, I,
You are
I
unapologetic, and I love it.
yes, I obviously want people to watch, but I do what I think is best for me. And
Yes.
you do what you think is best for you.
And you attract your tribe because we're attracted to what you're doing. So,
Thank you. I'm so grateful to my YouTube community and just anybody. I mean, honestly, like I could start crying again. Just the fact that it's so hard to sustain in show business. Just the fact that 22 years later, I'm still here. I do not take that for granted, and I'm still ambitious. I'm still hungry. I still want to do more things, and yeah, I am super grateful.
I just remember my T-Mobile sidekick refreshing perezhilton.com every 3 seconds.
Oh,
It was a drug to me. It still is on my phone, but there is just
oh.
don't on my iPhone, but don't you just
I
miss
loved
the
my
flip?
old sidekick.
Don't
Yes. Oh
you
my
miss the
God.
flip?
Yeah, I used to have it bedazzled, as
Heck
you
yeah.
did. You have to have your sidekick bedazzled.
But you're so right. PerezHilton.com. Congratulations on all of your success and that longevity you're talking about. Agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. And Perez, thanks so much to you. I love your work.
Thank you.